to the Monday Angel Message. I'm Rachel Scoltock, Angel Medium, and I've got some cards to give you a message for the week ahead. This is the reading for the week starting the 25th of May all the way through until next week. So I'm excited to get started, and actually because things are changing so much out in the world, you might have remembered that back in March when we were talking about going into lockdown and isolation, I pulled a tarot card for you. And so I decided yesterday to pull another tarot card to give you a reading for what's going on externally with that now. So if you don't mind, I'll start with that and then I will get to the reading for the week ahead. So this sort of covers everything in a way, but it's a really good teaching and it's a really good lesson. And it came out upside down. So in normal angel cards, an upside down card, unless the author has depicted it, don't mean anything except that the message is underlined. But in the traditional tarot deck, which I love, the message is slightly different when it's reversed. So that's why this is so interesting. So I'll show you it the right way up. This is the Nine of Swords, and if you do tarot, you'll understand this card a little bit too. So when you first see this card, it's a little bit frightening because it shows a man sitting up in bed, and he's got all these nine swords are kind of piercing through the air above him. And it's one of those typical things, you know, when you have woken up in the middle of the night and you can't stop your thoughts from taking over. You're either worrying about the future, you're ruminating about something that happened, or you're feeling guilty about something that you said or did, or you're obsessing about something that might go wrong, or you're thinking negative, your worst thoughts about yourself, your biggest fears. And this is what's happening to this character here. So he's allowing his fears to take over, and they're like a nightmare. Now remember that this card came out for you in reverse, so it's not as bad, but we need the lesson of the upright in order to get the lesson of the upside down. So he's woken up from a nightmare and his head is in his hands, and it's like he's believing everything that he's thinking or everything that he's dreamt. Now hands up if you are a person who's recently or over the last few months had some of those nights where you just can't shut your brain off and your negative mind has taken over, and you think things that maybe in the daylight you don't give any energy to, but at night that's when they come out, and it wakes you up in the middle of the night and you're thinking the worst possible thoughts. So this is your ego, it's your shadow side. But in this card, when it's right way up, the person is believing this, believing that they're completely alone, that they are unworthy or inadequate, that they aren't going to get the things that they want, or that they've ruined their lives in some way, or that some other person has ruined their life. And so it's kind of the feelings of that. But he's actually safe in bed. So with the reverse card, and we're talking about what's going on in the world right now, and particularly in your world, right? Because if you live in one part of the world, you're having a different perhaps experience than in another. But in actual fact, you're having a different experience inside your own being, inside your own head, than another person might be, no matter where you are in the world. So this card shows that you're waking up from the bad dream. That is a dream where your beliefs, your thoughts, I'm just checking the comments here that you can all hear me. You're believing it. You've believed it. He's believing it in this when this card has come up. It's saying you're believing what your ego is telling you. But actually your ego, your negative self, is attacking you with these thoughts. It's trying to convince you. So in the upside down, it's saying that you're beginning to wake up. Well done. So your spiritual work, your meditations, your reading of spiritual books, your talking to the angels, your journaling, all of the things, going out in nature, learning about, your ego versus your higher self, opening up your intuition and all of that is all working to awaken you from the nightmare. Because even though the nightmare and the thoughts that you have may be really, really scary and feel really, really real, they're not. They're an illusion, and that's the lesson of this card. So it is saying to you, congratulations, you've taken some kind of step back, or you have the opportunity to. So what in the world at the moment are we all together experiencing as a really, really scary nightmare? And, you know, for different people, it's different things. You know, some of the spiritual people that I've met, and I'm not saying anyone's better than others, because some people claim to be spiritual and it's a spiritual bypass. They're actually not doing any personal work on themselves. They're just using the language and pretending that they're spiritual in order to please their ego. All right. And that's a very tempting thing to do. But spiritual people, I'm noticing, and you might have noticed this, haven't been particularly scared about the coronavirus full time. They haven't been particularly concerned about it. Now, again, it depends what's going on in your neighborhood. Do you know what I mean? If you're living in a part of the world where everybody's dropping like flies and people are dying, then that fear is something, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's letting you know, okay, I've got to socially distance, I've got to do all these things. But your worst fears, whatever they are for you, and this is one of the things that's happened with this isolation lockdown, is that people have been forced to face their fears. The thing that is worst for them is coming up for them. The thing that's been living in the shadows of themselves and not really showing itself until the middle of the night has really been magnified even more. And so if we, instead of looking at this thing as being a global pandemic, we see it as a global reset, we see it as a global awakening for many, then you're starting to awaken to the nightmare. You're recognizing that it's not real and that you're safe and that your thoughts create your experiences. So then you can start to recognize that your worst thoughts, that you're inadequate, that you're not good enough, that you're unworthy, that someone has ruined your life, you start to recognize that has no substance except for the strength that you give it through your attention, your fears, your energy, the time that you give it, the way that you talk about it. And so then you're dismantling these swords. You see they're underneath him now, and this is turning it on its head. So it's showing you that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And the quicker that you get on board with my beliefs create my experience, and I'm recognizing that my shadow is just a negative energy trying to attack me, and that I am the one who has the power over that by recognizing that it's not real. And you know, when you're you work with the light and you're waking up, or you're a light worker or a compassionate, loving, sensitive, creative person, you tend to hold a lot of light. And when there's a lot of light, there's a lot of dark. You cast a long shadow in that light. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, or that you're not really spiritual, or you're not really doing the work. It just means that, you know, perhaps if you're a healer, you pick up on a lot of the darkness of others. You're helping with people with that. So you have to deal with that, and then it brightens your light even more. So don't be ashamed, because shame is the lowest energy that there is. Shame and guilt of having this. Just recognize now you're stepping away from it. And the more distance and detachment you get from it, the clearer you become. And they fall away. They no longer torture you. So it's like a dark night of the soul. So I really love that, because I see that as saying the nightmare is falling away. The thing that we've been so scared of is falling away, whatever that may be, but also on, you know, what we've all been dealing with. So I'm going to say hi to a few people. And thank you so much for coming on. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Kay. Hello, Kim. Nice to see you. Hi, Leanne. Haven't seen you for a while. Hi, Dee. Lovely to see you. Hello, Amanda. Yeah, brain never stops. Yeah, so there's things you can do for that, Amanda, to stop your brain. And make sure I just say hello to everybody. Leanne. Oh, yeah. I've already said hello. Hi, Mandy. So there are things that you can do, and you know, some of the things that we're doing, you know, maybe you've got to notice what triggers your shadow side, what triggers your ego, and you know, there might be certain situations that increase that for you, and you can say, thank you, you're letting me see what is in the shadows of my mind that I now need to release. And I'm going to write a blog about how to release it today, so look out for that. But also you can start to do things like, do I feel worse when I eat more of a certain sugar? Do I feel worse when I drink lots of caffeine? You know, I read something the other day that, you know, for some people who are sensitive, caffeine, tea and coffee can be real depressants, but we tend to reach out for them because we think we need the energy. So we're putting something in our mind that gives more energy to the fear. Hi, Patricia. Yeah, just personal struggles. Exactly. And I think that's what's been going on for a lot of people, is that whatever's going on out there is, and the circumstances have magnified. So in a way, All of the planetary transits are helping with that too. All of the energy that's streaming in for us is helping us with that, because we're here to overcome that. We can overcome it, because just realize it's not real. It's just a scary dream. Every thought you have about yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not attractive, I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to have enough. There isn't enough. They're all fears. They're not real. But they grow in strength the more that you give them energy, and the stronger they get, the more they cut off in the cosmic quantum field, the more they cut off all the other possibilities. And then your mind is only focused on that one belief. And so that is the belief that you're creating for yourself. And you'll have things mirror that for you, or you will twist things to make them mirror that for you. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Kathy. So I had someone recently had a really bad reaction to something that I said, which I hadn't said with any kind of negativity or venomousness. I just had said it, and they had a massive reaction, and you're this and you're that, and that was it. And I was like, oh, but it was a good example of a projection, which is when your mind believes that you're a victim, that you are persecuted, that everyone is against you, that you will turn things into being that. So you've got to be so careful what you give your energy and your awareness to. And for me, it was a good example for me to, one, be even more clear about my boundaries, but also to recognize that and be able to teach about that, and just send that person forgiveness and wish them well. And that's all you can do, because when you're the subject of somebody's projection, nothing you can do or say is going to convince them otherwise. They have to shift how they're thinking, and that's up to them. Yeah, fear is sneaky, but it's not powerful, and it's not as powerful as divine love. It's not as powerful as love. And you will notice that the universe is always there waiting for a way to deliver good things for you. It's just waiting for you to surrender those fears, so that you can get out of your own way and let those energies in, because all those fears are like a big metal iron door that's clamped shut over all the good stuff that wants to come in for you. Okay, so let's ask the angels what it is that we most need to know this week, for the week ahead. And I'm going to pull out 3, unless the angels tell me otherwise. 4, okay. So the first card is always the present situation, the theme, what we most need to know. And this is the 5 of Raphael. And don't forget, I always post these as a photograph later in my stories on Instagram and Facebook, so you can check out the messages properly later. But this one shows a woman, and she's got a bunch of things on the floor that she's opened all of these gifts, and there's nothing in them that she likes, or there's nothing in them. So now she's noticing that there's something new there. There's another gift. So she doesn't need to have given up. You know how we can be focused on our regrets, on the things that didn't give us what we wanted. She's now realizing, hang on, there is something over here that I didn't notice before because I was too focused on the negatives. So they're saying there's release regret, let go of unhappiness, let go of the past, because there are new gifts and opportunities that you can't even see because your energy is focused on the past or on the negatives. So you know the old saying, like, if you're only looking in the rearview mirror, you're actually going to crash into something because you can't see what's in front of you. So you've got to focus on the road in front of you more than you focus on what's gone behind you. The Archangel Raphael is there, and this is a Raphael card. So this is indicating a lot of healing. So this is a healing week for everybody, a week where you're recovering from tough times. And there is no way that your angels are saying to you, like, what you've gone through is minimal, that they're not dismissing it. You know, you need healing. You need to recover. You need to repair your energy and your mindset from what you've been through, because that's the thing, you know, that we if we stayed as we were as babies, we would be probably chortling and happy and googling and not have any experiences. We'd just be this pure little happiness. But things happen to us. But those things help us to grow in wisdom, and they help us to learn, and they help us to know what it is we want and what we don't want. Just like when the baby picks up something to eat and she doesn't like it, she knows she doesn't want that. It's just all about guidance. So this is your week. So there's lots of protection there for you, and there's lots of healing, but it's saying There's good stuff coming, so let go of the past. The guidance card is the Knight of Gabrielle. Now, I really love this one for you. Now, whether you're a woman or a man, this is beautiful. There's this female, she's empowered. She's galloping on a white horse. I don't even think she's got a saddle. No, she doesn't. And she's got the Archangel Gabriel behind her, and she's on new territory. She's galloping on this white horse to new territory, and she's really quite happy and lighthearted. She's not kind of hunched over with the weight of the world on her shoulders. The sky is clearing and blue. Now, this is saying that it's like clear your energy. There are good things coming, and you've got to move on them. You can't just sit stagnant in the energy. You've got to move forward. Any kind of movement is really going to help you. So even if you just make it your aim to go for a walk every day, and on that walk you're going to say a few affirmations, you're starting to move towards what you want instead of staying stuck inside what you don't want. There's passion, there's confidence, there's enthusiasm, there's courage. It's like, take your power and let the universe flow. Let the universe take you where it wants to take you. So this is about taking action. Is there something that you've been putting off that you need to do? Is there something that you've been telling yourself you can't have that you now can make a move towards? Just even a baby step, or more than that, because this is a card about, the angel is galloping forward. And the outcome is the Queen of Ariel. I love Ariel. So we've got Gabrielle, Raphael, and Ariel. Now, Ariel is all about nature, and she teaches us about the abundance of nature. If you sit and watch a bird feeding, or you go for a walk in the trees, and looking out my window at all the trees, you recognize that there's no kind of sense of worry and stress with nature. As the bird isn't thinking, I've got to get X amount of worms today. If I don't get them, life is going to suck. I'm a bad bird. It's not judging everything. It just expects, and it does the work, the steps, in order to receive the things that it needs. Now, and trees are the same. And, you can recognize there's great abundance in the universe, and you can borrow that energy of not judging everything. If you don't attach meaning to everything becomes easier. So Archangel Ariel is the angel of nature, the angel of abundance, and also one of the angels that works with our third eye. She helps us to see with love. And this is about nurturing yourself and creating abundance. So it's the more energy you put into yourself, time, meditation, eating well, all the things that you need, the more abundance you'll receive out in the world. So have you ever noticed that when you don't take any time for yourself, your day seems to go really quickly, you never get everything done, it feels like you're never going to get to that moment where you can sit down and relax or have a sleep. It just feels like it's moving all the time. Whereas if you actually do take some time out for yourself, somehow the day feels slower. It feels you've got more energy. It's about abundance. If you don't believe there's enough, you're going to come from that place of not being enough and always be caught up in the not enoughness. And that's what's going to manifest for you. So here she's saying, the more you nurture yourself, the more you're going to have to share with others, which is totally true. And is also saying you can create the beautiful life that you want in this way. You just have to follow these steps. Know that there are opportunities and abundance waiting for you. Even though things may have not worked in the past, you're being protected. You're being moved on from it. Take steps, take action to make those things happen in the physical and the spiritual and the energetic and the mental, the affirmations, the vision board, the thinking about what you want, visualizing it, praying about it, but actually taking physical action. And here we have abundance at the end. The Queen of Ariel. She has found her abundance. So the final card, and I knew he was going to come out today, is Archangel Michael. So I had such a strong message, and I was going to use my Archangel Michael cards, but I chose these ones instead. I had such a strong message about Archangel Michael being very protective. Now look at how he is protecting you. He is protecting your abundance. He's on the path. He's guiding you forward. You just have to follow it. So trust what feels sensible and right to you. Be clear. Trust what you know to be true in your guidance. and keep moving forward, and know that you're protected by Archangel Michael as well. I love this card for you right at the end. There's a lot of protection coming in, and that's what we have to remember with our thoughts too. We have to be so careful about who we're hanging out with, what we're allowing into our consciousness. Books, movies, games, TV, news, social media. What are you allowing into your consciousness? Are you protecting it? Or are you just leaving it out there for everything and anything to seep in? And then that's going to affect your nightmares. That's going to affect your dreams. That's because what's coming up in your nightmares is your consciousness. You know, your logical mind's out of the way, so you're resting. So, I hope that has been helpful for you. I've got so much more to share with you, but I have to save it for other weeks because otherwise my sessions get too long and people don't watch them. Hi, Hannah. Hi. Lovely to see you here. And Rosalie, I've had time to reflect on my path, my life during lockdown. A cord I haven't been able to fully cut has now been cut. Well done. There you go. And Amanda, thank you so much. So angel blessings, look out for that blog that I'm creating today, because I'm going to be showing you some more about how to shift heavy beliefs from your mind. And also we did the Divine Love webinar, which was amazing. The angels just took over and did 2 really deep healings. I'm getting so many emails from people who are saying they've benefited from it. So if you haven't watched that yet, please watch the replay. And I've also put in next month's webinar, which is all about the aura. And you can learn to manifest through your aura, through your energy. So I'm going to be teaching about that, what color your aura is, how to define, like what that means, and lots more about protection and how to use your energy for the highest good for yourself and others. Sending you loads of love, and have a really, really wonderful week. Thank you.